for Talano Ako on air. This time I have a new host, and I'm actually going to pass it on to him, and he'll introduce himself.
Cool. Thank you, Olian. Yeah, so my name is David Ryan. I am part Samoan, part Tokelauan, and a bit of Palangi in me too. In Samoa, I come from the villages of Fusisa, Kotulafai, and Salik Moa. My Tokelauan side, I am from the island of Whakaofo, so my family roots are from there, and my Palangi side, I'm from Papasoi, South Auckland. um, yeah, what else? My schooling, I did my secondary school years at St. Paul's College, and that's where I'm currently teaching. So it's awesome to be back, awesome to serve the young men at St. Paul's. But yeah, that's it about me. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, David. So I know you're so used to having Carl on these series. He's, like the OG presenter, old Carl, principal of Rowandale School in Manirewa. And just a big hello to you, Carl, who's probably hopefully watching this, enjoying a V and a peanut slab at home. But as you know, my name is Oliane Niata, and I'm grateful for another opportunity as a presenter for our Talanoa Ako series. But this is my first NCA series, so which is pretty cool. And how cool is it that I get to present with a friend, a colleague, from the same school, the same kura, David Ryan. Yes, the guy with two first names. Sorry. Don't worry. Sometimes, I'm calling him David, sometimes Ryan, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So if you've been listening, you'll know that I am of Samoan and Cook Island descent. I'm also a proud Otarian, born and raised in the heart of South Auckland and now living in Mangere. My maternal grandmother hails from Alesa, Bisinga, and Satawa, and my maternal grandfather hails from Sasa'e and Whanga and Savai'i. I have children who range from primary age to young adults, and I get to see both sides, as a parent and a teacher. So, my role as a mother is one of the most important roles, has its challenges, as raising teenagers and young adults, but I'm so grateful for this role. My faith plays an important role in my life also. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or LDS, or sometimes used to be called Mormon. And last year I started at St. Paul's College with Mr. Ryan, or David here, and it's my first time in a high school environment, and so far it's been awesome. The boys are awesome, the teachers are supportive, and I also get to learn more about the Catholic faith, which is really cool. Anyway, we'll get straight into it. What is Talanoa Ako on air? So I thought I would answer this. This is David's first time, so he's kind of learning about this too. So if if you've heard of Talanoa Ako, it used to be a parent Pacific parent education program. It was a 10-week program, and it was usually held in a school or in a space in the community, and it aimed to help parents, families, and communities with like skills, knowledge, and confidence they needed to champion their children's education. So Talanoa Ako on air is similar to what is taught in these programs, but you can listen to these sessions on the radio or on Facebook, and they run for about 5 weeks, and usually 20 minutes, or usually around 20 minutes each session. And there's lots of information covered in those sessions, same information that's covered in the programs. What is awesome about it is if you miss out on these sessions, because everyone's so busy, working and stuff, they're available online. Okay, so I know how hard it is to try and attend these programs each week. Okay, but we're so blessed with the power of technology. Everything can be accessed by a device. So, there's really no excuse for any of you looking for information, especially when it comes to your child's education. So, what are we covering? What are we covering over the next 5 weeks of Tarano Ako on air? So, we'll be covering quite a bit. And as you know, this is the NCA series. So, we'll be covering, so at the moment today, we'll be covering, what is NCA? How does it work? How do you pass? We'll also be covering NCA assessment. So, how is NCA assessed? How is it marked? Also, we'll be covering NCA subjects and pathways like, STEM or STEAM. And we'll also be covering the importance of literacy and numeracy credits. So we're so lucky to have David Ryan, who's a literacy expert, guru. So I mean that's going to be his session. He's going to take that session. Okay, and our last week, we're just going to just wrap things up. About NCA, where to from here, and how we can better prepare our children, who are sitting NCA. So yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to be covering for the next 5 weeks. And today, we're going to be looking at what NCA is. So I'm going to hand it over to David. David, what is NCA?
Good question. Yeah, so NCA actually it stands for the National Certificate of Educational Achievement. And so what does that mean? It's pretty much what our kids, what our students are being assessed on when they hit year 11, year 12, and year 13. And usually, if your child is in year 11, they'll sit level 1 NCA. If they're in year 12, they'll sit level 2 NCA. And then if they're in year 13, they will sit level 3 NCA. Cool. So that's what NCA, well, I think that's what NCA is. And so how does it work? How do students or how do our kids pass? It's kind of changed. And so I'll talk about the old way. So when I was in high school, and it wasn't that long ago, but what you needed to get to pass level 1, level 2, and level 3, and then I'll kind of discuss this new NCA, if that's all good. And so the old NCA, so when I was in high school, level 1, you needed 80 level 1 credits. And of the 80, you needed 10 numeracy credits. So it wasn't a addition, or you didn't need 90 credits. That 10 credits numeracy was part of the 80. And level 2, you needed 60 credits, and you were able to carry over 20 credits from your previous year. That in level 2, you also had to gain 10 university literacy credits. And the hope in that was if you gained your level 1 and your numeracy, and your level 2 and your literacy, that'll help you in level 3 with your university entrance. And so I know my experience, my parents, their hope was I was going to go to university, and I know that's a big thing for most Pacifica families. We want our kids or the next generation to achieve greater in the educational space. So yeah, if you want them to get to university, we need them passing the numeracy, the literacy, but also gaining university entrance. And you do that in level 3. So level 3, you need 60 level 3 credits, but you also need UE entrance. And what that looks like is 14 credits. I believe it's 14 credits and 3 approved subjects. And I think later on in our sessions, me and Oleana will break down what that looks like, even endorsements and things like that. But that's pretty much the nutshell of what it looked like before. What it looks like now is if your child or if a student is sitting level one, um, level one ATA, they need 60 credits. And additional to this, so on top of that, they need 20 credits from literacy and numeracy. Again, we'll break that down later in the series, but that's what it looks like for level one student. Level two, it's 60 credits, and there's no more carryover credits. So it's just 60 credits now for level two students. And then the same with level three, it's just 60 credits and no more of that carryover. Yeah. So I think the main differences between the old NCEA and the new NCEA is yeah, just that carryover credits. So there's no more 20 credits carryover to your or from your previous year. It's just straight 60 credits. Um, but with level one, it's that highlight on the 20 credits in literacy and numeracy. The similarities, it's still, so NCA is still covering internals. So there's still assessments throughout the first, second, and third term. And then there's still external, so the exams at the end of the year. And yeah, I think that's basically what NCA is, how it works, and also how you pass each level.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks, David. And I guess like yeah, David has experience with NCA at school. I don't because I'm quite old. In my day we had school C and bursary, but I guess they did introduce. They started. I don't know if we're like the pilot students, but they
Mhm.
did start introducing it in year 12, I believe. So a question was, how is NCA different to the old school, school C and bursary? And you know, I guess back in my day, I sound so old, but for us to pass that subject for that year, we had to like sit like this 3 hour exam, which was like at the end of the year. Okay, so we didn't have like they have these, like now they have like all these assessments where that counts towards your, I guess, if you pass at the end of the year. For us, we just had this massive exam, um, which was like about 3 hours. And if you pass, well, if you earned an A, B, or C, so an A, which probably be an excellence now, a B will probably be a merit now, and a C, which will probably be achieved now. If you earned A, B, C, you passed that subject. So that meant that you could move on to that subject the following year or take another subject in that year level. So, if I was taking school C maths and I passed that year with an A, B, or C, I could go on the next year and take sixth form certificate maths or year 12 maths. But if I didn't pass school C maths, then I would have to take it again the following year. Okay. So that's kind of how it worked back in the day. If you didn't pass, you'd have to retake, like, take that subject again or, for that year. So yeah, you could be like a year 12 taking year 11 subjects. That's how it worked. But I guess for me myself and thinking about my schooling, I actually enjoyed the end of year exams. So I don't know if maybe I like to muck around. Maybe I probably like slacked off a bit, and that's what worked for me. I didn't have to be continuous with trying to do all these assessments. I just had the bang end of the year exam, and it was over. But it doesn't work for everyone. I know with NCA, even though I feel it's a bit easier, I also feel it's a bit I feel it's a bit harder as well because the assessment is continuous throughout the year. Okay, so yeah, which means that everything a student does counts towards their qualification, but then I feel they also have to work hard all year round. So, but I guess David can come in if he wants. I mean, the
Yeah,
subjects are made up of achievement standards and
yeah,
unit standards.
yeah.
Yep, and like you can work and gain credits throughout the year. And I guess what's good about it is if you need to make up, like I guess if you can make up, if you need more credits to pass, like how David spoke about needing, the 60 credits or whatever, like how many credits you got, and you can work towards gaining more credits, and you can talk to your teacher about
Mm-hmm.
how can I gain these credits and whatnot. That's what I love, I guess, about NCA. Compared to when I guess when I was in high school, you wouldn't know if you're going to pass until the exam at the end of the year, which I also feel is quite hard as well. And I
Yeah.
guess in the past, like with secondary school qualifications, it was a strong focus on academic subjects. Those that were interested in vocational subjects weren't able to get qualifications in those subjects. Like I think now you can get, you got all these different subjects like vocational subjects, and they're able to get NCA, which is really cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess that's a bit of the difference. I mean, David, did you want to add anything?
Yeah. Yeah. Just talking again about my experience. Um, like I was like Oliana. I enjoyed the externals, the exam at the end of the year. But I knew everything I did, like the assessments, before the exams, they all counted too. And so, when reports go home and you're not passing stuff, like your parents kept you accountable.
Yeah, yep.
So I think that's a good thing. Um, yeah, with the internal assessments, the little assessments, tasks that you have to do per subject. Um, yeah, and like what you're saying, it's easy for you. Like if you're sitting it yourself, you can see your progress. You can
Yes.
see I got 5 credits in English. I got 10 from maths. I just need this amount to go, and then I've passed that level. Um, and maybe in term 4, because it's kind of like a short term for senior students. If you're sitting at 52 credits, you know that you just need 8 to pass. Like it's just a good pressure for you
Yeah.
to turn up and smash those exams.
Yeah.
Um, but on the flip side, if you've passed during your assessments, um, like it's a good push to make sure that you are achieving even more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, during those
Definitely. Eh?
exams, yeah.
Because
Especially if you're aiming for the scholarships and stuff, that's what they look
yeah,
at.
definitely. I guess that's what we're talking about earlier on with with students who you like we were saying, they can see their progress, and
Mhm.
they see they've already met their credits, and then sometimes they can just kind of slack off because they won't go to the external, or they
Mhm.
won't do the last bit of assessment. So I guess it has its pros and cons, and that
Yeah,
that
everything. Yeah,
yeah. But I guess what we want, especially with our Pacifica students, we want them to go all the way.
yeah.
It doesn't matter if we've already gained your credits,
Mhm.
throughout the year, and you don't need to take your external, take it. You know, keep
Yeah,
going, keep pushing yourself.
exactly.
So yeah, awesome. Thanks,
Mhm.
David. Is there anything else you want to add on?
No, that's
No, you
that's all
okay?
that I have. Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
think yeah.
awesome. Okay, so just I guess that's it from us. But for next week, what we're
Mhm.
going to cover is NCA assessment. So we're going to be looking at how is NCA assessed. So the internal and external. So similar to what we kind of been talking about. Um, how is NCA marked? So we're going to be looking at the achieved, the merits, the excellence, the not achieved, and we'll also be looking at other things like endorsements, also subject scholarship awards. And yeah, so that's something we're going to cover next week. So, you know, definitely tune in next week if
Yeah.
you want to know, some information around, the NCA assessment. But yeah, I think that wraps up session one. How has your weekend been, David? You have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was all good. Yeah, heaps of traffic around my area because of Polyfest, but good traffic.
Oh, and
Um,
I've got to say, sorry, I went to Polyfest Friday and Saturday, and just amazed by the talent out there.
sh-
Um, if you're from St. Paul's, sorry, got
mm,
to represent.
sh-
We It's our first time back at Polyfest for a while. I think
mm,
2018 was the last time St. Paul's entered Polyfest, and this year we only entered a Niuean group, and the first time there's been a Niuean group, so that was awesome, and um, I just, most of our group were not Niuean, but man, boy, they represent today, and um, we came third overall, and it wasn't really about what we came. Yeah, it was just awesome and beautiful to see these boys represent the Niuean culture. Uh, they talk about how the Niuean language is a dying language, and when you have stuff like this, it's so beautiful to see. That especially the Niuean language and the culture, is so strong. So just big ups to St. Paul's College Niuean
mm,
group, and all the parents, teachers involved. It's been my first time being I guess looking after a Polyfest group. Uh and man, honestly, I give props to all those teachers, all those the tutors, everyone involved. It's a lot of work.
mm.
I know it's only term one, but my body and my head feels like it's term four. So um, thank you so much, and well done to all those students that participated. If you didn't participate in the performance, those that participate in the speech side as well, it's just so beautiful to see. So yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, that's it from us. David, any
Oh,
closing words? You
nah, just looking forward to next week.
Yes,
Should be
looking
good.
forward to next week. So
Yeah.
we'll see everyone same time, same channel. Okay, next week, and have a great week. Thank you. Tō whāsoi fua.